Already being tagged as a modern Shaquille O'Neil, Tacko Ball went from being adored by NBA fans to being as far from the league as he can be. So the question is, why does a player who can put the ball in the hoop without jumping by literally reaching up to his toes as if he's putting something on the top shelf and simply just lets the ball slide out of his hands for the easiest of 2 points, go undrafted? And is there still a possibility that Tacko gets another chance into the NBA? If you want to find out the answers to these questions, be sure not to go anywhere. Let's get straight to it. Alhaji Tacko Serene Diop Fall was born on the 10th of December, 1995, in Senegal. Fall moved to the United States in 2011 after Senegalese coach Ibrahima Ndiaye had heard about 15-year-old Fall, who was 7'3" at the time, from a friend and convinced Fall's mother, Marianne Diop Sen, to permit her son to attend his brother, Mamadou Ndiaye, who was a former NBA player, basketball academy. Tacko's outlook and playing led him to receiving numerous offers from colleges, but he eventually settled on attending the University of Central Florida and played there for the UCF Knights. In his second year, Tacko averaged 2.6 blocks per game and became the American Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Throughout his 4 years in college, he shot 74% from the field. Tacko was unstoppable, but he still had the issue of only averaging 10 points per game and couldn't shoot the ball to save his own life. He did put a pretty impressive game in the 2019 NCAA tournament, where he played against Zion Williamson and Duke. Tacko dominated by making a lot of dunks and blocks, especially Zion's. There was a point in the game where Tacko was kneeling and was still taller than one of his opponents. Even though Duke won by just a point, Tacko was given accolades for helping UCF stay alive in the game. Moving on, Tacko decided to declare for the 2019 draft. At the 2019 NBA Draft Combine, Tacko's height was recorded at 7'6" with an 8'2" wingspan. A size like that makes playing against other players look like a gym teacher joining a game against sixth graders. It just doesn't seem fair. His height measurement alone was supposed to be good enough to get Tacko into the NBA, but sadly, he was waived by all 30 teams in the NBA on draft night. Even though Tacko ended up being undrafted in the 2019 NBA Draft, he was signed to an Exhibit 10 contract on June 21st, 2019, as an undrafted free agent by the Boston Celtics, where Tacko was only expected to stick with the team with the disadvantage of not making the regular season roster, and if he proved himself good enough, they could upgrade him to a two-way player, which is still not even up to a normal spot on the team. On October 13, 2019, the Celtics officially announced that they have signed Tacko to a two-way contract, splitting time between the Celtics and the Celtics G League team, the Maine Celtics, who at the time were Maine Red Claws. Tacko was not only between teams, but was also driving over 100 miles between states to get playing opportunities. The Summer League put Tacko in the spotlight, and the fans loved him. Tacko was getting more picks and autograph requests than Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Enes Kanter praised Tacko, saying Tacko had the nicest personality on the team. So back to the million-dollar question, why didn't that happen for Tacko? Is there still a possibility that he gets another chance into the NBA? Well, it has happened before, so it's nothing new. And since he's still only 27 years old, maybe there's still hope. So let's go over the reasons why Tacko didn't last in the league. One of the biggest reasons people have to justify that Tacko didn't go far in the NBA is because he wasn't given enough playing time and didn't get a chance to prove himself in the first place. Remember, we discussed earlier that Tacko has only played 37 NBA games so far in the NBA. In his first season, he averaged 3.3 points in 4.7 minutes per game on 78% shooting from the field, 2.1 rebounds, and 0.1 assists in only 7 games. And can you blame the team? After all, the Celtics were a playoff team, and they weren't about to risk giving minutes to a 23-year-old uncertainty. After the Celtics G League shut down because of COVID, Tacko's main source of playing time was gone because he was barely playing for the Celtics. He played only in 19 games, in 7 minutes per game, but they were mostly in scrap time when the game's already been decided. On September 27, 2021, Tacko signed a two-way contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who gave him more playing time. He even once started in a game against the Celtics, playing 19 minutes and having 4 points and 10 rebounds. Tacko's overall performance at the Cavs was pretty unsettling. He shot 42% from the field, a career low of 29% from the free throw line. He was averaging a measly 1.1 points in 5.3 minutes, and 11 games later, he got waived from the Cavs. Before you start feeling sorry for Tacko, he was reacquired by the Cleveland Charge, which is the Cavs G League team 3 days after being getting dumped. Tacko averaged 14.8 points and 10.4 rebounds on 75% shooting from the field in his new team. One factor that I think was also responsible for Tacko's inadequate playing time was his ball turnovers. In college, he had 3.6 turnovers per 40 minutes, compared to less than 1 assist, and he had similar stats in the G League. He usually loses handle of the ball whenever it was entered to him. Inside and as far as being offensive goes, Tacko was only good at driving inside the paint to dunk the ball. Another reason why Tacko didn't last in the NBA was probably because of his size. As instrumental as his body was on the court, it did present some challenges to Tacko and his teammates, such as him being slow, which is pretty normal considering his height. But his size clogged up the paint, which made it hard for his teammates to score inside when he was there. Assuming Tacko could shoot, him clogging space wouldn't have mattered. For example, out of the 5 tallest players currently in the NBA, only 2 of them are usually on the court, and that's because they're good shooters. But as I said earlier, Tacko was terrible at shooting. In college, Tacko worked on increasing his stamina to be able to play 20 minutes a game. In the G League, he was able to increase it to 27 minutes, which is still not enough for NBA standards. Tacko's professional career only lasted for 3 seasons, in a total of 37 games. Tacko currently plays for the Flying Tigers of the Chinese Basketball Association, where he's leading the league in blocks, with an average of 3.4 blocks per game. Good as he is there, China wasn't supposed to be where Tacko is to be putting up those defensive playing stats. Or at least that wasn't the plan for the young star. He should rather be in the NBA right now, having a swell time on the NBA court. Fans often try to compare Tacko to players like LiAngelo Ball, Zaire Wade, and Shaquille O'Neil, while forgetting that Tacko has been elite in other leagues. He's balled and apart from the NBA. If you compare Tacko's production in college, the Summer League, and the G League to these previously mentioned players, they don't even come close to Tacko. Zaire Wade averaged 2 points per game last year in the G League. LiAngelo has 4.5 per game in the G League, and Shaquille has 6.2 points per game, whereas Tacko put up 13.8 points per game in the G League and won the Defensive Player of the Year in his conference at college. Tacko led the G League in blocks per game in 2022 and made the G League first team in defense twice. If we were to go further and compare Tacko's production to other NBA players that also went undrafted, and 3 top players in the NBA that currently fits into that category are Christian Wood, Chris Boucher, and Naz Reid. And what makes these set of players fit for the comparison we're about to make is that they all also went through the G League before making it into the NBA, which gives us more numbers to compare. Now, looking at the overall stats between the 4 of them in the G League, Naz averaged 18.4 points, Chris averaged 20.8 points, and Christian averaged 22.6 points. In 2019, Christian scored 29 points per game, and that same year, Chris Boucher won the MVP title of the G League. So it's not surprising that they made it to the NBA. Naz, on the other hand, didn't perform all that differently from Tacko in his G League career, although Naz was a slightly better scorer, shooter, and passer, while Tacko excelled in rebounding, blocks, and efficiency. Apart from this set of players, there are still numerous players who went undrafted and still eventually made it to the NBA. Tacko too could have been one of them, but he wasn't. Tacko played a total of 228 minutes in the NBA. That's less than 5 full-time NBA games. In the 2022 offseason, no team was willing to sign Tacko. He only played 2 games with the Jazz 2022 Summer League team and averaged 12 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 blocks, and still wasn't signed. Since nobody was interested in signing him, Tacko took his talents to China, where he's been dominating the CBA league. He now has more playing time and has been playing 25 minutes per game, averaging 14 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, on 74% shooting from the field. Tacko has been working on himself and has been improving season after season. And another interesting thing about Tacko is how he hasn't really experienced any major foot injuries like most 7-foot and above players. So that's it for today, guys. Do you think Tacko Fall will one day make it into the NBA? Feel free to hoop in your opinions in the comments section below. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.